spit it out already?" That's what they used to say. Every time I tried to answer in class, every time I ordered at the diner, every time I opened my mouth in this town. I learned to keep my head down, to let others speak for me, to pretend their laughter didn't hurt. But every stutter, every stumble, every cruel joke, they were building something inside me. Tonight, as I stand backstage, I hear the roar of a sold-out stadium chanting my name. I grip the mic, my heart pounding, and step into the spotlight. Funny, isn't it? The same voices that once mocked me are now silent, waiting to hear every word I have to say. I grew up in a town where everyone knew your business and your weaknesses. For me, it was my stutter. It started when I was 5. My mom said, "You're just nervous, honey. You'll grow out of it." But I never did. At school, the kids noticed right away. "Say your name," they'd tease, crowding around my desk. I'd try, Maya." They'd burst out laughing. One boy, Jake, made it his mission to finish my sentences for me. Always wrong, always loud. At lunch, I'd sit alone, picking at my food, pretending not to hear the whispers. "She's so weird. Why does she talk like that? Maybe she's just dumb." I tried to tell my teacher, Mrs. Evans, but she just smiled. "You need to speak up, Maya. Practice makes perfect." At home, I'd lock myself in my room and read aloud to the mirror. The quick brown fox? But the words always got stuck. My dad tried to help. He'd kneel beside me, gentle and patient. "Take your time, kiddo. Your voice matters, no matter how long it takes." But the world wasn't patient. In high school, things got worse. Oral presentations were torture. I'd stand in front of the class, hands shaking, face burning, as the words tangled in my throat. One day, after I stumbled through a poem, Jake called out, "Maybe you should just write it down next time." The class roared. I wanted to disappear. That night, I told my mom, "I wish I could just be normal." She hugged me tight. Normal is overrated. You have something to say, Maya. Don't let them take that from you. But I started to believe maybe I was meant to stay quiet. Until one day I heard a woman on the radio, her voice strong, her story raw. She talked about her own stutter, about turning pain into power. For the first time I wondered, what if my voice wasn't a curse? What if it was my superpower? I started small. At the library, I signed up for open mic night. My hands shook as I wrote my name on the list. The host, a college student with a kind smile, said, "You nervous?" I nodded, unable to get the words out. He just winked. "That's the best kind of brave." When my turn came, I nearly backed out. But I remembered my dad's words. "Your voice matters, no matter how long it takes." I stepped up, clutching the mic. The first line caught in my throat. A few people in the back snickered, but I kept going. By the end, my voice was shaking, but I finished every word. Afterward, a woman approached me. She said, "You made me cry. My son stutters too. Thank you for not giving up." That night I realized, maybe my voice could help someone else feel less alone. I started going every week. Sometimes I stuttered so badly I wanted to run off stage, but every time someone would come up and say, "You're brave," or "You made me feel seen." At school, things didn't change overnight. Jake still made jokes. One day, he mimicked me in the hallway. Maya, can you say success?" I looked him in the eye and said, Sure. Success is something you'll never understand." His friends laughed, but this time it was at him. I joined the debate club, even though everyone said I was crazy. The coach, Mrs. Lee, pulled me aside after my first meeting. "You have something the others don't, Maya. When you speak, people listen. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real." I started practicing every day. I recorded myself, listened back, learned to pause, to breathe, to own every word, even the ones that got stuck. Senior year, the school announced a speech contest. Rachel, my only real friend, nudged me. You should do it. I hesitated. What if I freeze? She grinned. Then you freeze. And then you keep going. That's what makes you Maya. I signed up. The day of the contest, the auditorium was packed. Jake sat in the front row, arms crossed, smirking. I stepped onto the stage, heart pounding. I looked at the judges, at the sea of faces, at the boy who'd made my life hell. I took a deep breath. My name is Maya, and for as long as I can remember, people have told me to be quiet. But today, I'm here to say, my voice matters. Every stutter, every pause, every word. I stumbled, but I didn't stop. I saw Mrs. Lee nodding, Rachel beaming, even a few teachers wiping their eyes. When I finished, the room was silent. Then, applause, louder than I'd ever heard. I didn't win first place. But I won something better. I won my own respect. After graduation, I left for college in the city. I joined a public speaking group, terrified but determined. I met people from all over the world, some with accents, some with stutters, all with stories. One night after a talk, a man approached me. He said, "We're organizing a conference. We need someone who can inspire people to be themselves. Would you be interested?" I said yes, even though I was terrified. The first time I stood in front of a real crowd, hundreds of faces all waiting, I almost turned back. But I remembered every time I'd been told to stay quiet. I gripped the mic, took a breath, and spoke. The words didn't come out perfect, but they were mine. And as the applause washed over me, I realized I wasn't just speaking for myself anymore. I was speaking for every kid who'd ever been told to sit down, shut up, or spit it out already. And I was just getting started. The night of the stadium event, I stood backstage, hands trembling, listening to the roar of thousands of voices. The host's voice echoed through the speakers. Please welcome Maya Patel, best-selling author and motivational speaker. I peeked through the curtain. Rows and rows of faces, strangers, fans, and, in the front row, a few I'd never forget. Jake, older now, but still with that same nervous smirk. Mrs. Evans, my old teacher, clutching her program. Even my parents beaming with pride. Rachel squeezed my hand. You ready? I nodded, heart pounding. I've been ready my whole life. The lights hit me as I stepped onto the stage. The applause was deafening. I took the mic, closed my eyes, and breathed. Good evening, my name is Maya Patel, and if you'd told me years ago that I'd be standing here, I would have laughed, because for most of my life, I was told to be quiet. I was told my voice was broken. I was told I'd never be enough. I paused, letting the silence settle. But every time someone laughed at my stutter, every time I was told to sit down, I learned something. I learned that my voice is not a weakness. It's my power. I looked down at the front row, locking eyes with Jake. He looked away. I continued. Tonight, I want every kid who's ever been mocked, every adult who's ever felt small, to know your story matters, your voice matters. And sometimes, the thing you're most ashamed of is the very thing that will set you free. The crowd erupted in cheers. After the speech, as I walked off stage, Jake approached me, hands in his pockets, eyes downcast. He cleared his throat. Maya? I'm sorry. For everything. I was a jerk. I never thought you'd... look at you. I smiled, steady and kind. It's okay, Jake. I found my voice. I hope you find yours too. He nodded, tears in his eyes. As I left the stadium, the marquee flashed my name in lights. And for the first time I knew my voice had finally drowned out every doubt. After the stadium emptied, I stood alone on the stage, letting the echoes of applause settle into my bones. Rachel found me, her eyes shining. You did it, Maya. You really did it. I laughed, wiping away a tear. I never thought I'd see the day. Remember when I couldn't even order pizza without panicking? She grinned. Now you're inspiring thousands. You're unstoppable. My parents hugged me tight, my mom whispering, I always knew your voice would change the world. Later, as I walked through the lobby, people stopped me for photos, for hugs, for stories. A little boy tugged at my sleeve, his words slow and careful. I stutter too. But now I want to talk on stage, just like you. I knelt down, meeting his eyes. You can, and you will. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. His mother wiped her eyes. Thank you. You have no idea what this means to us. As I left the stadium, I saw Jake standing by the exit, waiting. He looked nervous, hands shoved in his pockets. He cleared his throat. Maya, I meant what I said. I'm sorry. I wish I could take it all back. I nodded. I know. But you can do better now. For someone else. He smiled, a little sad, a little hopeful. Back in my hotel room, I sat by the window, looking out at the city lights. My phone buzzed with messages, old classmates, teachers, even strangers from around the world. One message stood out. You gave me hope. I'm not afraid to speak anymore. I realized then that my journey wasn't just about proving the bullies wrong. It was about proving to myself and to everyone who ever felt small that our voices are worth hearing. I recorded a message for my followers. If you've ever been mocked, doubted, or told to stay quiet, remember, your voice is your superpower. Use it. The world is waiting to hear your story. As I drifted off to sleep, I felt a peace I'd never known before. Because the sweetest revenge isn't just success. It's turning your pain into purpose and helping others find their voice too. So, if you could say one thing to the people who tried to silence you, what would it be?